Okay, we're going to talk tech now. The AVTEAM technical rehearsal, we had a lot of people involved with lots of different kit, and we're just going to go over some of that now. So this is the studio, the wet lab, as we call it, and I'm here with Daniel, who's one of our contractors, regular contractors. So Daniel's using a specific rig, so tell us a bit about that rig.
Okay, so this rig's basically a Canon XF105 with a PAG orbiter handheld rig. It's built all around the idea of stabilizing shots and having the ability to cover the scene easily. Today I was in charge of basically focusing on the surgeon and what they were doing with the model, as just making sure that it was stable and smooth and I had the flexibility to move around. So.
That's great, thanks. So that's quite a simple rig, but it does help the operator to hold a camera for a long period of time without getting tired, and also to remain mobile. So that's that part of the rig. We're going to move around to here. So obviously James Duffy, who's our eminent surgeon, was working with a mannequin, and this is a paediatric mannequin, and basically it has lots of monitoring clever stuff. So this is the computer that we use to control the mannequin, and you can see there that there's some controls for the lungs and the breathing and the heart rate, and you can control all of these statistics. So you can get this feedback on this monitor over here, which the surgeon will be using during the procedure. Now there's a certain amount of pretending you have to do, obviously, because it's not a real person. But it does give you some real feedback about what is happening with the patient and how you might respond to that. So how this is used in reality at the college is that it's used to train surgeons and teams of surgeons to see how they respond to this kind of feedback and make sure they don't make any mistakes, and hopefully the patient will get better. So we're going to move around. This is the pole cam. So this system here is specifically for surgery. It's designed for surgery. It's also used in lots of other things as well, but this is used in operating theatres in lots of places. And what you've got here is there's a tripod arrangement with a Sackler head on the top. We've got all the kind of the back end of how to make the camera work with power supply. We've got the mixer and a distribution amplifier underneath. We've also got a counterweight. We can balance off the system by changing the length of the arm. We can move the shot around, as you'll see there. I can move it quite smoothly, or I can zoom in. I can get a shot there. I can still move. So it's a little bit fiddly to use at first. Normally we wouldn't use it as a live moving shot, but if you do want to get an overhead shot, like a point of view shot from the surgeon, it's actually very good for that. So this is the pole cam. So we find we use this a lot in surgical procedures here at the college. We use it with wet specimens as well as models and simulated stuff like this. So, okay, we're going back over here. So, Chubba is another contractor of mine, regular contractor. Hi, Chubba.
Hey.
Hiya. So, Chubba's using our GlideCam X10, which is a stabilisation system again, although it's slightly different in design to the PAG orbiter. It's got a vest, which is very similar to a Steadicam, a professional Steadicam rig, but this is kind of the budget version, I suppose you'd call it. You've got your counterbalancing arms here, which are springs inside these arms. And what happens is, as Chubba moves around, and if you jump up and down for us now and try and keep the camera steady for us, so you can see that obviously not that big a jump, but as Chubba's walking down the corridor, he can take steps and take out the movement of his body from the shot. And it takes a lot of practice to do, but Chubba's actually quite good at it. And we've got some lovely footage from this camera walking down the corridors, and it just looks really, really smooth. It's got a big wide lens on there. It's a Canon 5D on the top. We do like the 5D. It's got some lovely footage that you get out of the 5D, and it's super for still shots as well, obviously. Interchangeable EF mount, and that's the whole rig there. So I think it works very well. I mean, can you tell us a bit about it yourself? I mean, what's your experience of using it?
Sure. Well, basically, it's pretty much like a lightweight Steadicam with a lightweight camera on it. My role today was basically just to demonstrate how to kind of follow the demonstration and document it in some ways. And that's it. It requires a certain amount of experience, and it requires a certain amount of practice for sure.
Mm-hmm. Great. I mean, we did a few rehearsals, didn't we? And you practiced that same shot going up and down quite a few times. So I think that's the key to this, isn't it? Knowing where you're going, how fast you're moving, when you're going to stop, and when you're going to start.
Exactly.
So exactly. So that's the Steadicam rig. So we're going to move over to the back end now. So this is the kind of the surgical side, the media sort of end of the studio. So what we've got here is this is the link back from the Linda Theatre. So we've got a HD link coming from the Linda Theatre, which is about 20 metres that way, something like that. And here we've got all the stuff that makes it possible. So we've got a vision mixer, it's a standard HD vision mixer, JVC KMH3000. We've got a HD monitor, JVC again, this 24-inch monitor, which is a very nice monitor. It's got several inputs on the back, it's dual link HD SDI. We've got the audio mixer here, which is obviously for links like this is very important because you've got your auxiliary sends. You need to make sure that you're sending the right audio out and not picking yourself back up again coming back. So that's important to set all your feeds up correctly. We've got talkback in-ear monitors here to try and isolate the audio and to make sure we don't have too many issues with looping or echoes. We've made sure that the people in the studio here aren't listening to a speaker like this, they're listening with an in-ear monitor. So that's just to try and isolate the problems for the sound engineer. This rack here, we're not really using much in this rack apart from some radio mics there, which we're using as head mics. So that's a lot of the stuff that's in here. We were using studio lights as well. We've got a lot of processing equipment behind the scenes. We're using Data Video DAC 70s. We're using Blackmagic design converters, mini converters and distributing amplifiers. We've got lots of bits and bobs like that, so that's the studio here. Obviously the full details are on the schematic. We're in the Linda Theatre, which is the hub for our whole conference thing that we were setting up today. I'm here with Shane. Hello Shane.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, good thanks. Yeah. Shane's one of my contractors and he's using a 5D. And he's using the 5D on a shoulder rig, which allows him to hold the camera steady for longer periods of time than just holding a 5D by hand. It also allows us to put this Red Rock Micro follow focus on, and that's a Wi-Fi follow focus. So the other parts of this rig are, aside from the follow focus and the rig itself and the 5D, we've also got the receiver for the Wi-Fi follow focus, which is basically it picks up the signal from the transmitter, which I'll show you in a second. And we've also got the wireless link, so we can send HD or HDMI wirelessly to a receiver, so we can see the shot on a monitor. So the other end of that is here. So if we can, I'll show you this now. What I've got here is I've got the monitor where we can see David filming there, and the monitor is fed by the wireless system on the camera. So I'll pick that up on my monitor here, and I've also got a follow focus on the back there, which is the Wi-Fi follow focus, and this is the micro remote which controls the receiver on the camera. So it means if you have a look at the camera there, I can actually focus the camera for Shane. So whilst he's running around keeping an eye on his steady shot, we can control the focus from here, and we can actually see it on the monitor. So if you can see there, I can actually focus very nicely and get a smooth, nice focus. So that's really important if you're doing handheld stuff, and it's a lovely addition to the 5D. This is the control area for the live technical rehearsal. We've got a number of items here on the table, so we can control all the feeds coming in and going out, plus also the audio as well. And we've also got the touch panel for the video conference side. So this is the Starleaf touch panel. So we were able to call Bradley by using this. So we go into contacts and we could select Bradley. So let's type in Brad. D. So there's Bradley there. If we wanted to call him, I'd just call him there, but I'm not going to call him now because I think he's had enough of us. So that's the touchscreen control for the video conferencing system. Now with the video conferencing system you can bring in 16 endpoints plus us, so that's 17. And any one of those endpoints can talk to all the other endpoints on it's interoperable and it's unified communication. So it's a very nice platform. We've been using it for about a year now. You can share your screens, your desktop screens in HD quality as well, and you can call H323 SIP, and it's basically interoperable with most things. It's a really good system. We've been very pleased with it. We've got Yamaha digital desk, and Paula has set up all of the auxiliary sends so that we could control the audio very easily, or Paula could control the audio very easily. It's quite complicated when you've got one other site somewhere else and then you've got the video conference coming in too. To be able to send and receive these feeds in a reliable way without having distortion and so on is actually very difficult, and it's probably the most challenging part of any event like this. I must say that you know, the live technical rehearsal that we did today, it wasn't perfect. You know, we've learnt a lot from doing it, and part of that comes from the live stream system and the issues that are inherent with that. So we're going to go over that now. So on live stream, we've got two systems. We've got HD 51 and we've got the HD 501. Is that right? It's two systems basically. You've got a rack mount live stream system here, which with its rack ears goes in a permanent installation kind of configuration. And on the back of this you've got 5 HD SDI inputs plus HDMI inputs and numerous outputs as well. And it's a beast of a machine. It allows you to do real-time graphic overlay, to do real-time live switching, and also to webcast it out. So all the graphics and so on are done within this. They could be done live, which is one of the main reasons we like it. It allows you to do all of your video production live without having to do the post-production stuff afterwards. And the benefit with live stream, of course, is it's going straight up into the cloud. So as soon as your broadcast is finished, you can watch it back straight away. So if you're doing lecture capture, if you're doing PowerPoint recording with the video window as well, it allows you to send that link straight onto the client so they can watch it afterwards. It also means there's lots of other features as well. I'm not going to go into them all, but you can have password protection, you've got geo-blocking, there's some amazing stats and metrics you can get out of it. So I must say, it's a very, very good system. You've got media playback and so on. It's basically like a budget version of some of the other systems out there. So if we just have a quick look at what we've got the PowerPoint feed, which is what I was using to show my slides. That there is 16:9 at the moment. We could set, sorry, that's 4:3 at the moment, but we can set it to 16:9. We've got the video window there, which is the main primary shot of the lectern, which is a camera over there. It's an XF305 we're using. Over here we have a wide shot from over there. That's an XF105. We do like our Canon stock here. We've got, it's black at the moment, but we had the Starleaf, the video conferencing system, coming in on that channel there. We've got another channel here, which is the wet lab where we were a moment ago, and we can see the overhead shot of the dummy there. What we've also got is we've got graphics layouts that we can set up, so we can set up the video window. So you can see there we've got the PowerPoint in a 16:9 window as it should be. We've got a cropped video window there which would show the presenter speaking, and we've got some stuff in the background which you can of course customize to your own brand. We've also got a media playback area, so we can load up media and we can play it back and loop it and so on. So it's a great place to put your corporate logos and so on. It will actually put all of your live streams in there as well, so you can play those back straight away. So that's the bigger one. The smaller one, which we've got here, was actually, we set this up as a redundant system. So in case anything went wrong with this live stream, we were ready to go with this, and I'll show you the back end of this in a moment. But the main point here is that if there was a technical problem with the live stream, obviously not the network, because we'll be using the same network connection out, but if there was an issue, a catastrophic issue with the other live stream unit, we were ready to go with a spare one. And I think that's really important, because there's a lot of stress on these machines with what we're doing with the graphics and so on. So it's important to have a backup. You never know what's going to happen. But to make that possible, we'll go around the back here. Let's see if I can get you around here, David. So on the back end, we've got numerous HD SDI distribution amplifiers, which we're using to copy the signal out into both live stream systems. So we didn't have to rewire everything if there's a catastrophic issue. It's all ready to go straight away. And it did actually get us out of trouble, because we were using the second live stream unit for another task later on. We've also got these data video DAC 70s, and this is probably the most useful piece of equipment I've ever seen as a technician. It's basically a scan converter, but it scan converts in HD quality. It's really, really nice picture quality. Back in the days of composite video, scan converters were terrible, and you could get really good ones, but they were very, very expensive. The DAC 70, about £290, and I think we've got about 4 or 5 of them. They're incredibly useful. You can see the back end of the live stream studio there. You can see the inputs and outputs. You can see we've got a HDMI distribution amplifier. We've got the Focusrite audio interface, which allows us to get audio into the live stream. Live stream has got an audio input, but it's like a mini jack. which is not what I'd suggest using for this kind of thing. You want proper balanced audio. And you can see just there we've got the Starleaf endpoint, hardware endpoint, which is the codec basically for live stream. So you can see you've got inputs and outputs for HDMI and RGB HV. You've got your network connections and mic connections and so on. So that's what allows us to do Starleaf from here. We've actually taken it from our video conferencing suite and put it in here temporarily. Okay, so we've got one more thing I'll show you. We'll move over here. So we set up some lighting. Whenever you're doing a live event and whenever you're filming anything, you should always use lights. And of course, this was no exception today. So I think it's really important to light stuff. We're using some Fresnel Juniors here, which are incandescent lights. They do produce some heat, but they produce a nice warm light, which is nice. We've got the dimmer there, and we've got a little mixer down there, DMX mixer for controlling the levels. This is the primary camera for the lectern shot, so again, another Canon. We're using Canon XF305. We do like the 105 and the 305 because of the studio connectivity. It allows you to connect HD SDI, Genlock, timecode, and so on. Very nice camera, all the features you'd expect. And then another plasma screen like we had in the Wet Lab. This is a 40-inch NEC plasma screen, and we've got about 8 of these, which we use around the college for various different purposes. And that's about it. I've got one more camera over there, another Canon XF305 just for a safety shot. So that's it really.